So something that I've been wondering lately about is why so many anarchists are so into morality. I was sitting down with my coworkers yesterday for a quick brew at the local pub, and my coworkers are pretty smart, at least compared to your average person. And it dawned on me when I was talking to them. We started talking about serious things. Is very few intelligent people actually believe in any sort of morality seriously, even if they're not explicitly moral nihilist. Most secular people don't really take the concept of morality seriously, even though many anarchists do. It seems to be that the only people that actually do take morality seriously are your typical libertarians. Some of them, not even many of them, only the more serious ones. Your serious libertarians, anarchists, that type of thing, as well as right-wing Christian whack jobs, as well as other right-wing religious people. When I told my coworkers that I was a nihilist, a moral nihilist over our brews, they were kind of confused actually. They started saying, "So, you don't think killing is wrong?" And I'm like, "No, I don't think it's wrong, but I dislike it. It makes me feel uncomfortable." And they're like, I'm so confused, and it dawned on me that most people don't actually even make that separation between morality and what they feel. Most To most people, objective ethics of any sort is a joke, an absolute joke. Codified ethics are a joke. To most people of average intelligence or higher, and by average, keep in mind I'm saying the top 50%. To them, what is right and wrong is simply the kind of coincidence of their personal preferences and the general preferences that they've been brought up with by society. They don't try to codify this thing at all and push it into some sort of separate entity. So basically, what I'm just extremely curious about, and I'd love it if someone could provide me an answer to this, is why are anarchists who are supposedly so open-minded and so willing to question their beliefs that they are actually anarchists, and they're so purportedly devoted to reason, why are such a large proportion of these anarchists so hung up on this morality thing, so hung up on it indeed, that when their positions have been proven wrong, they start calling morality something that it's traditionally not. They start playing with semantics. It's kind of like those people who they know there's no God, but they just don't want to give up the word God. They're just afraid to give it up for some reason, I'm not sure what, and they start calling the universe God and call themselves pantheists. To me, why not just call yourself an atheist? Why are you so attached to the word God? Why are you so attached to the words morality that you start calling it something that it's not, which is a way to achieve your goals? I mean, we already have words for that. Words like utility. There's already language enough in this instance where we don't have to use morality to apply to that sort of idea. The truly funny thing, the truly ironic thing here, is that morality, the concept of morality, actually provides disutility. For one, it prevents people from analyzing an interpersonal situation on a case-by-case basis because it attempts to codify things. Back a little while ago, while I still believed in morality, but I was kind of in the death throes of it. I saw a father hit his child. Um, how, and I of course dislike that intensely. I'm very much against that. Um, and of course at the time I thought that was wrong. However, I was kind of puzzled by the fact that I didn't feel bad about it at all at that, or angry about it at all at that particular moment in time, because here's what happened. Um, the child kept on running in the street in front of cars. Literally, after the third or fourth time, that's when the father hit his child. So, morality prevents us from analyzing things like that and saying, you know what, maybe in that particular instance, that was excusable. The second reason morality provides this utility is because when you use moral arguments against someone, they take it personally because it goes back to their childhood. It's assault on everything that they were brought up to believe in. So if you're trying to convince someone of anarchism and you bring out the moral guns, you know what? It might be a little bit more powerful, but on the other hand, it might be less effective as well because it's going to just shut them off. Because moral terms are emotionally loaded. You should feel bad that you support the state. And honestly, that's not the most effective way to convince someone. Just like yelling and hitting are not effective ways to discipline your children. So when you bring out the moral card, you're just, instead of trying effectively making arguments, you're just making people feel bad and turning them off. So you're less effective towards achieving anarchy. On a slightly unrelated note, when I confessed to being a nihilist, one of my coworkers actually confessed to being a postmodernist. Now, although postmodernist is definitely preferable to many, many types of people, despite being a pretty strong nihilist, I have problems with postmodernism. To me, postmodernism can turn into an excuse not to think. They just say, "Oh, there's no absolute truth. I don't have to think about anything." And what do you know? Most postmodernists turn out to be statist progressives. And it's just like, I feel like the postmodernism is an excuse not to think critically. Even though I don't believe any sort of absolute truth is attainable. To me, that doesn't mean you throw out the baby or logic with the bathwater. Anyway, I don't mean for this to be an attack video or anything of that nature, so if anyone has any answers, whether you be a nihilist like myself, or a moralist, then please feel free to comment or leave a video response on whatever reason you think it is that anarchists tend to be much more moral-minded people than your general, everyday, secular person.